Hey traders, John Howell here. Listen, I just got back from the gym, and I'm gonna start getting ready to start my day. And I thought of this video, some things I've been thinking about today. And if you're ready for some honest truths about what it takes to truly get ahead of the markets, then watch this video. And if you don't, then you can turn this bitch off right now. Anyway, so as I'm getting my post-workout drink ready, I want to talk to you guys about your journey as a trader. And let me do this here. And I want to talk to you about what is actually going on right now and what it actually takes to be truly a successful trader. Here's the thing, guys. When it comes to your ability and the way that you trade the markets, it's so important that when you're looking at trading, here's the thing about trading, right? Trading is not easy. Trading is not easy. Now, why is trading not easy? Because trading is the best personal development course you've ever done in your life. Why? Because when you're trading, right, there's so many areas that come up when you're trading, because there's nothing more emotionally charged than what? Than money. So as you're trading, and as you're doing, by the way, BCAAs for recovery, and then I've got some greens powder for recovery. If you want to know what I'm putting in my post-workout drink, look at that. So the thing is, guys, is that when you're trading the markets, for the first few years or more, you're going to go through a fucking hard time, especially when you don't have a coach to tell you to what to focus on. You know, I don't want to pay for fucking coaching. You know, I'm so fucking grateful that I spent money on coaching, because especially on the right coaching, right? I know there's some crap out there, right? But when I look at my coaches, he really taught me how the markets truly work, right? How do they really work? How do they really operate? And, you know, and what really happens? I forgot something in my drink. A little bit of creatine, as they call it. Creatine. So, like, because now, like, really understanding how does the market work and how does a successful trader trade the markets. There's so many areas, right, to become a good trader. There's one of the biggest areas that to help you become a good trader, right, is the need to be right, right? You think you need to be right to be rich. That's not true. Right? So, for example, I did a video yesterday saying that there's a lot of weakness in silver and gold. And because we had a big update today, people are like, you got it wrong, nee. Fuck you, motherfucker. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not about being right, it's just about how the markets work is how we need to view the markets, right? It's as simple as, hey, this is what the market's telling us right now, and we need to mold and change with that. Makes sense? Keep an eye on the big picture, and look at the short-term picture, and so on and so forth. People think that you need to be right to be rich in the markets. That's not so true. What do the most successful traders have in common? They have every single successful trader, including the most successful hedge fund manager on the planet, Ray Dalio, he has no idea what's going to happen. Warren Buffett, he has no idea what tomorrow is going to be bringing in the stock market. No one does, right? But multivitamin and some fish oil. But what is the thing about trading? The thing about trading, right, is about probability. What is that probability? Here's the thing about successful trading. Successful traders, they have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. You don't need to know what's going to happen tomorrow in order for you to make money. You think you need to know. What are the most successful traders on this planet? Successful traders on the planet, what do they have? They have their setup. They have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow. And guess what they also do? They flow with the markets. Flow with the markets. Big picture, small picture. Big picture, small picture. What is the big picture? The big picture is always keep an eye on that weekly chart. Remember, weekly chart is king. You don't think it's king? Go fucking look at Bitcoin for the last few years. What has it been doing? They sellers, right? Every time you think the daily chart's going to rise back up, sellers knock it back down again. Rally back up at a lower high, and a lower high, and a lower high. No one's talking about Bitcoin these days. Why? Everyone's so quiet about Bitcoin. I'm not. Get into that bitch. Some fish oil, multivitamin. There we go. So, you know, a lot of people, right, guys, think, again, understanding, right? Here's, again, find your one setup, whatever it is. If you want to come to me and me help you develop that setup, then get that setup. But even when you have that setup, that's where your journey starts. That's where it starts, my man. Why? Because even when you're learning how to stick to this plan that works, then you need to figure out exactly why the system works. What is it about the things that you miss? And guess what's going to happen? Your first 3 to 6 months, you're going to suck at trading. I guarantee it. You're going to take shit that you shouldn't. You're too impatient. You're too patient. Sometimes when it comes to your trade management, right? How do you trade management? And then also your trade selection. Oh man, I guarantee you that when you start trading out, even when you do have a proven system plan, they're right in front of you. I guarantee at least 50% of the trades you take is still not going to be with the plan. Record every single trade, review and approve. And over say 3 to 6, if you're sometimes like me, 12 months, 2 years, for you to actually start to get a bit of traction. That's happened for me 15 years ago anyway. Makes sense? The market's going to slap you around as quick as you can look at you. And if you're not prepared to go through the hard work of recording every single trade, reviewing it and improving it, and having some sort of structure to the way that you're approaching the markets, you're never going to get ahead. I promise you. It's not about picking tops. It's not about picking bottoms. It's not about saying, oh, well, John, you did a bearish video yesterday on silver and gold, and wow, look at the market went up today. Geez, you suck. Cool. I suck then. It wasn't a trading opportunity, by the way, guys. What am I doing? When I do these videos, what am I doing? I'm just reporting what the market's telling me. By the way, has silver and gold really changed on one day? Look at those weekly charts. Oh, you have no idea what we're talking about, John? All right, that's cool. Well, if you don't agree with me, don't fucking watch. That's simple. But I speak the truth. What is the truth? The truth is from the markets. I don't know shit. What is the market telling me? And then I need to flow like water with the market, right? Flow like water with the markets. So if you don't have your one simple setup that you're looking at, and then if you're not getting better each week and each month and each several months and each year at learning out what makes that setup so successful, then you're not making progress. You just, oh, let me try this, let me try that, let me try this, let me try that, let me try this, and right, it's like throwing darts. You can't make progress like that, right? Stop thinking about the market in a way where it's a get-rich-quick scheme, and stop thinking about the market in a way where, you know, you've got to jump on one big massive trade to make a lot of money. It's not like that. Trading is hard. Trading is difficult. But guess what? After a while, trading is simple, it's easy, it's fun. Especially when you see the setbacks as an amazing learning growth, because like, wow, look at these even still to this day, look at the lessons that I'm learning from the markets. You know what I mean? Like, look at the lessons I'm learning from these markets. Wow, because I'm learning these lessons, I'm going to achieve this in the future. I'm so excited. But if it wasn't for this lesson, I wouldn't be able to achieve and experience what I want to achieve in the future. Makes sense? But if you're just spinning your wheels, trying this, trying that, try, it's never going to work, right? Like I know for my system, the way that I trade, when I stick to it 100%, most trades be profitable. 90+% become profitable. That's a fact. And I guarantee 90% become successful and 10% don't. I still know that those 10% of losing trades, there's something about those losing trades that would have told me not to get into that trade. What is that? Keep learning, keep growing, keep learning, keep growing, keep learning, keep growing. But if you're not prepared to go through those hard times, those times where the market's going to smack you so fucking hard, it's going to spin you upside down and fucking land you on your head, you go, what the hell's going on here? Then don't be involved with the markets. Don't be a fucking little pussy and little whingy whiny, me. If you're not willing to stick to some sort of structure in the markets, if you're not willing to start to really understand how to read these charts, fuck the indicators. Look at it's like, oh, I'm going to look at MACD and stochastic and let's actually see what this market's going. It's the stock market, right? It's the market itself. That's what's going to tell you what's going on. Are we overextended or are we not? There's simple things you can do. Put a long-term moving average on a daily chart. Like for example, if you're looking to see if a stock or a market that you're looking at right now on say any stock on a daily chart, put a 52 moving average on that chart and see how far away it gets from that 52 moving average before it comes back to it. Now you start to know without the other shit out there, oh, I can see what's overextended on the up or down when things are too overheated or too sold off before we come back to equilibrium. Now, not all stocks are like that. Sometimes, sometimes they're just going to keep going and keep going and keep going and keep going before they do that. But most of the time, you'll see stocks come back to their 52 moving average. Now, is it 52? Could be a 60 moving average. The number is irrelevant. All I'm saying is that simple things like that give you a guidance on when is a proper, if I know that inside my head, right? For an example, if I'm looking for a trade, my setup, right? My setup. Like for example, today, I'll give you an example today. Today, right now, this morning when I was looking at the US stock market, guess what? There was a trade there that looked really, really good on the daily chart. But then when I went to my weekly chart and I looked at the last 10 years, I noticed my weekly chart was its furthest away from its 52 moving average than it had been in the last 10 years. Now let me ask you a question here. If you know in history that when something gets too far away from the moving average, that the probability, no certainties, but the probability is it's likely to come back to that 52 sometime, and now you're looking to get into a trade, say you're looking at the daily chart for a trade, and that all looks pretty good, but then you look at your weekly chart and it's the furthest it's been away, meaning it's done so much price in a short period of time. Now time needs to catch up or it needs to be a resting phase. If you know that that's telling you that the market's getting really, really, really extended right now, but if you take that trade on that daily chart and the weekly chart is furthest away from the moving average than it has been in the last 10 years, but you know probability says it's likely to come back to that, if you take that trade on the daily chart, is it a real high probability trade that it's going to work out just by understanding that? Or is it a low probability trade? It's a low probability trade, right? If it may run on for a little bit, but guess what? To me, I only want to get into trades that give me, yes, this is it. There's nothing here telling me not to get involved with this thing. That's the ones that I want to get in. And when I do have losing trades, even when I do have winning trades, what make this a winning trade? What make this run on for big profits and this one run on for only small profits? What make this a loser? Was it just a losing trade, or was it my impatience? Do you know what I mean? Like, was it the trade management? All that sort of stuff. That's how you flow, right? You flow and flow and flow and flow and flow and flow and flow with the market like that. But it's understanding these simple techniques. It's going to help you when you're trading the markets. And that's what helps me every single day in the markets. I have my setup that I'm looking for, but then I use how the markets operate. Just tell me, is it a high probability time to take this setup? I have my setup, but now understanding these simple rules about extended, how far away is it, all that sort of stuff, tells me when a high probability time to get into it. Doesn't mean it's a certainty. Doesn't mean, there's one thing that a lot of people do, right? Like they don't take the trade because they say, for example, it might be too extended. And then the trade runs on for profit. Then you kick yourself, I should have taken that one. Like, no. Because I was even saying to some of my private clients this morning, like, I said to them, how many times this year have you seen a trade like this, even though it looks good, how many times have you seen that it actually failed this year? More times than not. 20% of the time it's going to run on for profit, and 80% of the time I guarantee you it's going to crash and burn, or it's not going to do well for you. So do you see what I'm saying there? It's all about stacking the probabilities up higher and higher and higher and higher and higher. How can you get the confidence to start increasing your position sizes if you're not doing that? You know what I mean? If you're not getting that, oh, I've seen this before, I've done this, and that's only comes through time. If you're not willing to do time, which means start trading. Start trading very, very small. I don't believe in paper trading, by the way. Just start trading small, because through those small, yes, you're probably going to lose money for the first 2 or 3 months. Newsflash, you're going to lose money for the first 2 or 3 months. Expect that. Set up an account with a few $1,000s, say, all right, that's my investment fee. Because that's what's going to happen. Don't paper trade, because paper trade is shit. So you're not going to actually learn a lesson, are you? But guess what? If you're willing to do that, and you're willing to say, okay, my coach says this is the plan, then you take that plan and make it your own, and say, what is it about this here? Let's do a lot of back testing, a lot of screenshots, and let's trade this. And let's actually go back to my coach and see why certain trades worked out and why certain trades didn't work out. And let's actually look at those losses, let's look at the wins, and let's get better at it. Let's record, review, and improve. Let's record every single trade. Let's look at all the wins, what actually made those successful, what actually made the losers losing, and let's actually do that. Was the loss something purely technical, or was the loss basically something the way that I managed the trade? Like, for example, was I too quick to get out of it, or did I not give enough time? If, like, for example, there's been some losses that I've had in the past where I got in one day and out the next day, where we're just given a bit more time. 3-4 days later, most of those trades ran off a profit. Now I'm realizing a lot of these trades that I should stay. Now, because I record, review, and approve, like now, okay, now I know. On average, within 1 to 4 days, these trades are going to make a profit. It might not be day one, it might go against me day one, but day 2, day 3, day 4, and potentially even day 5, that's where it can run off a profit. But you're going to go through a hard time at the start. That's why you need to stick to the process and stop looking for the magic pill. Right? Stop looking for the magic pill and willing to work on yourself in a way where understand why the system you're trading works. What is it about that system that makes it work? And then go from there. For you guys that are part of my private coaching, my system is based on how the markets work. How do they operate? It's not some fad or anything like that. I take trades based on what the highest probability chances are. And when I have losses, I still have fucking losses and I still make mistakes. That's okay. I go back, I record, I review, and I improve. Guess what? Next month, I might make the same fucking mistake again. But guess what? 2 or 3 months later, I'm not going to make the same mistakes. Mistakes that I was making at the start of the year, I'm no longer doing now. Make sense? But you can do this. Trading is simple, trading is easy, trading is fun. But you've got to look at it that way. Right? And you've got to look at it as what? Expect these setbacks. Expect that, the way you start your journey. Now, if you started your journey in your try this. Oh, I'm going to buy it here because I think it's a good idea, and I'm going to try this good idea. And you look at your last 20 trades, and they're almost different. It's like that doesn't work out. But if you trade in the system, right, and you trade in the markets, and it's like, all right, I've got an exact approach that I'm looking for. Right, I've got an exact approach I'm looking for. Now, what I mean by exact approach is that you know what you're looking for on the charts. And this is a big thing about getting coaching, right? If someone's actually doing it. See, with my coaching, I live this shit every single day. So if I fuck up, I can come to you and say, listen, this is where I fucked up. So I can give you the mistake so you don't make the mistake. Because I'm investing in the markets every single day. So the biggest thing out there, right, it's a combination. The most successful trades are a combination of having your setup on the entry chart, but then knowing how to read the higher time frame. So if you're trading a 5-minute chart, how to really read that 15-minute chart to give you the best chance possible of doing well in that trade. Make sense? So when I'm trading the daily chart, I know the better I get at reading that weekly chart, the better it tells me, is this a trade that's got the power to run on for a big profits? Or is it just a short-term trade? You don't know that just by looking at an entry, right? Because you've got your pattern, you've got your setup. But then really understanding the big picture as well too. There's simple things you can do. Again, this takes time. But if you're not working on these things to really understanding your setup, remember, the same setup. It's not like, well, I'm trading double tops today, I'm trading head and shoulders tomorrow, I'm trading breakouts today. It's like, no. Every time I've completely fucked up in the markets, guess what? Because I've traded like 3 or 4 different things, plus also shit that I just thought was a good idea. A fucking mess. All over the place. Consistency. Consistency is the key. Showing up every day. Consistency. Consistency of trading your one setup. You may not have a trade for a week. Discipline and patience. That's what it comes down to. And if you're not prepared to do that, then you won't be successful long term. You just won't be. And you know that yourself, right? You know what it's all about. But initially, when you're being involved with the markets, if you're trying to be right with the market, if you're trying to pick it right, you're trying to pick the bottoms, you're trying to pick every single day, That's hard, man. That's hard work, man. But guess what? The people that I know that make 7 figures plus per year, they all have one thing in common. They wait for their one setup only, and then they believe it. They believe in it so much. Why? Because they've had time there. That's what's going to happen, right? They've had time. The time is like, yeah, they keep getting better and better and better. But that's okay. That's part of the process. If you're willing to stick at it and say, you know what, I'm going to have, the next few months, man, I'm going to fucking suck at this. But I know over the next 2 to 3 months, I'm going to get better. 6 months, even better. 12 months, oh my goodness, I'm really starting to get this now. Imagine where you're going to be in 5 years when you do that. That's the process that it takes to be a good trader in the markets. There is no shortcuts. Doesn't matter if you have the most amazing trading system on the planet, there's still things that you need to sort out, because I guarantee you, it's your trade management, it's you still taking shit that you shouldn't do, picking and choosing trades, all that sort of stuff, right? So you can become a good trader. Trading is simple, it's easy, it's fun, and even when you do get setbacks, that's okay. Guess what? Be happy about those. Why? Because those lessons are the thing that's going to help you get to where you want to go in trading. Make sense? I have setbacks all the time. Oh, not setbacks. I have losing trades, every now and then. And I'm like, man, I really learned a lesson from that. Thank God for that. Thank God I didn't have $1 million on that trade, bitch. Makes sense? So you can do this. But don't try to be right with the market. Flow with the market. If right now, like right now you're looking at the markets in the short term, the daily chart's saying this, then flow with it. What's happening right now? But also keep an eye on small picture is the daily chart. Big picture is that weekly chart. What's that weekly chart? Okay, the weekly chart hasn't changed yet, so I still got to flow with that. You know what I mean? Keep flowing with the markets. Flow. Is it bullish right now or is it bearish right now? And what do I need? And just keep respecting the markets. And you can do well. Just understand this, guys. The 80-20 rule. And that goes for the stock market as well too. I've been doing this now for a long time. And trading in general as well too. 80% of the shit out there that you hear about what it takes to be a good trader, that it's easy and just blah, 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 all that sort of stuff. That's total bullshit. 80% out there, 80% of the stuff out there that's on a platform is going to be completely useless to actually helping you make the progress you want in trading. And only 20% of the stuff out there that when it comes to reading the charts, understanding the markets, and what it takes to become a good trader is actually going to help you make the progress. The question you got to ask yourself is, what are you actually spending time on? So with my coaching program, I teach them this sort of stuff. Well, how do I know this sort of stuff? Because I invested tens of thousands of dollars in my own personal coaching with my personal coaches so they can teach me, what do they know about the markets? How do the markets truly operate? How can I understand these markets even more? And then you can go from there. Make sense, guys? So you can do this, but I hope this video has given you a bit more of a journey that, you know what, if you can't handle a little bit of slap in the face every now and then, a little bit of setback, you're going to boo-hoo, motherfucker, boo-hoo, and start to blame everyone else about why you're not doing well, then you're not going to get ahead. If you want to truly get ahead, you've got 2 things in life. You can make excuses and do this, which means, you did that to me, blah, 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 blah. Guess what? You don't get the lesson then. You don't get the lesson, therefore you don't make the progress. So don't fucking sit here and complain to me that why 12 months later your life hasn't changed. Guess what? Don't put the finger at me. Do this. What did I do to cause this to happen? And when you do that and you take responsibility for that, that's when all your growth starts to happen. So you can have two things in life, guys. Have excuses or have results. If you have excuses, you're not going to learn the lesson that's going to help you get the results. What do you think, guys? What do you think that successful traders are out there? Or successful people? Like, what you don't see is they failed 9 times miserably. You don't see that shit. But the one time they do see, guess what? It's very known because it's made public and so on and so forth. That's what you do see. So are you prepared to go through those 9 times? If you're not, then you're not going to become successful. But if you're prepared to go through that, if you're prepared to go through a year or so worth of hard times in the markets, but then on the other side of that is amazing financial abundance, yeah, you can do this as well too. But you've got to set yourself up mentally and prepare yourself for what's likely to come in the markets. That's why with my coaching program, I do 12 months for the coaching, because it's going to take a while for you to get it. It's going to take a while for you to actually start to move forward that way. And I do this with my private coaching all the time. I'm like, no, just keep going, keep going, keep going. But the sad fact is, guys, you know what? The sad fact is that a lot of people out there, when they are trading the markets, the sad fact is that most people won't get ahead in life is because they see their setbacks and they kick themselves in the ass, and I just do it all the time. And they don't take with that, and they just say, you know what? I'm so grateful for this, even though it really hurt me, and it's financially or whatever, emotionally. I can see how once these lessons that I'm learning right now, and what actually happened here, there's something that I'm missing, something that I'm not doing right. What do I need to learn to keep moving forward? So many people just quit. If you're willing to go through that 12 months or so, you can really shortcut it to say 6 months if you want to, say 3 to 6 months. But if you're willing to go through that pain of not doing well for that time, you'll start to make progress after, say, I reckon, say 6 months of intense like coaching and so on and so forth, and really you putting the work in. And then after 12 months, you can really start to see things happening. And then imagine where you are. The biggest progress, guys, and the biggest growth in my own trading career has come from me just doing the shit I'm talking about right now. Like, okay, focusing on one setup. Okay, what made these losing trades losing? And what made these winning trades winning? And what made this trade be run on for big profits and this trade? And understanding that, looking at it. Really understanding the markets, the daily charts, the weekly charts, you know, and so on and so forth. And when you start to do that, you start to take responsibility for yourself. You start to move forward. Now, remember, guys, anyone that joins my coaching program or any coaching program out there, the most successful traders on the planet, guess what they do? Yes, they go get coaching, they go get help, but guess what? They make the system their own. If you have a trading system right now that you learn from someone, that's no longer their trading system, because now you have a chance. That's just you still having the ability to be able to point the finger. This is your trading system, and it's up to you to make it work. So get to work. Make sense? So guys, you can do this. You can really do this. It's going to take a while for you to get it, and that's the truth in the markets, right? That's the absolute truth in the markets. But you can do this. But you've got to stick at the process. You've got to keep getting better. You've got to keep getting better. And you're not going to make progress if you're trading this because you think it's a good idea. That's why I say never trade based on what you think over fear, because there's no consistency. There's no probability in what you're doing. You know, I mean, how do you expect to grow when there's no plan of attack of how to enter and exit these markets and get better and better at trading that plan? That's how you get real progress in the markets. You don't make progress in the markets by trying to, you know, oh, I'm so good because I picked the top. I'm so good. Look at this. Look, I picked the top. I picked the bottom in silver, or whatever. I ain't hearing that shit. You know what I mean? Like, don't listen to that, guys. Don't listen to that, guys. But if you are willing to put the work in and you're willing to spend what I said before, about good 3 to 6 months, possibly even 12 months of really putting that work in, of sticking to the plan and just keep getting better and better at understanding why trades worked out and why other trades didn't, recording every single trade, document on a spreadsheet, reviewing, going back over all your trades, looking at the charts, saying, okay, that's what actually happened, and so on and so forth, and then improving. Ask yourself, what do I need to improve on? And you can get there. Have an amazing day, guys.